We have a question from Twitter from @JohnOr. Is the iPhone mobile market, which is flooded with cheap, poor quality apps, anything like the Atari market pre-crash? No, I don't think that's a good analogy at all. The Atari market pre-crash was pixelated games. I mean, we're talking about 8-bit and 16-bit games back then. So little dots, and I think that the gaming industry at the time was probably just not as well developed to support what Atari planned for. And Atari crashed because they made 3 million copies of E.T. and had to bury 2.5 million of them in a landfill because it was just a crappy game. No, I don't think that the cheap, poor quality apps on the iPhone are really that bad. And remember that they are all delivered digitally, so there's no excess inventory that has to be buried in a landfill. Also remember that the iPhone market is really for the phone. People don't buy phones because they want to play games. They buy phones because they want to talk on the phone or they want to text somebody. They buy them to communicate. Games are a nice additional benefit, and a game might help you decide which version of a phone you buy or which model of phone you buy. It certainly has nothing to do with your decision that you need a phone. So no, I don't think it's anything like Atari. Atari pre-crash was a dedicated game console. You only bought the console to play games. There was nothing else you could do with it, and the games are crappy, so Atari crashed. I don't see any parallel at all. Appreciate the question, but I don't think that that makes any sense at all. This week's next question from Twitter from @Praise82. Will EA ever release the rights to the NFL, and what do you think that does to growth in the genre? No, so it really is kind of the second part is irrelevant. They're not going to release the rights to the NFL. They have an exclusive. They signed an exclusive because, oh, did I keep the, oh, I did. Okay, I can just, you can splice this, right? They have an exclusive because of what Sega tried to do. And Sega failed. Do you need another close-up of this? You probably do, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. This is the Sega Sports Levelizer. Tell me what. Can you do it from there? Okay. Now I'm sure most of you out there are either too young or way too old and feeble to remember what happened with Sega. But Sega had a sports business. They made an NFL game. This is for NFL 2K3. So this came out in 2003, 2002. I can't remember what year they do it. 2002. This is the last time Sega made their NFL game. And the reason they gave us these levelers is they said that with that game, they finally had the formula. They were going to pass Madden football. I remember that they spent $50 million marketing Sega NFL 2K3, and they sold 1 million units. So they generated $50 million in revenue. They spent $50 million on marketing. I defy those of you who don't have a business degree to do that math. 50 million in revenue, 50 million in expense, and then of course it costs some money to make the game and run overhead. They lost money, they got out of the sports business. So what do? They sold their sports business to Take-Two. You got all the 2K games. Take-Two renamed its division 2K. It used to be Gotham Games of all things. But they renamed it 2K. They started competing in football, and the way they chose to compete with NFL 2K4 and 2K5, Take-Two decided to discount the game to 20 bucks. Well, EA didn't like that because if you're looking at NFL games and you see one for 20 bucks and at the time on the PS2, one for 50 bucks, which one are you going to buy? Obviously, the 2K game sold very well, took a lot of market share from EA. So EA's response was go to the NFL, offer them a boatload of money. Rohan, do we have a graphic for a boatload of money? I hope so. Offer them a boatload of money. It turned out to be about $50 million a year in guarantees just to the NFL. And in exchange, EA got an exclusive. I believe that original deal was through 2011, something like that. They renewed the deal in 2010 or 11 to, I believe, 2016 or 2017. So we have another several years before that expires. The point is that Take-Two got out of the football business because obviously they wouldn't make an unbranded game. You guys remember Midway actually made an unbranded NFL game, and was it called NFL the League, NFL the Blitz the League? That's what it was called, Blitz the League. Which actually did okay, but look what happened to Midway, not in business anymore. I think what EA showed with this NFL exclusive is if you mess with us, we're going to bankrupt you. So Sega didn't get bankrupted. Take-Two got just killed on the NFL exclusive, had to drop that division. Take-Two made the bonehead move of signing a Major League Baseball exclusive for the same kind of dollars, 50 million bucks. They have lost money consistently in baseball. That contract just ended, so Take-Two is going to finally turn profitable, but it absolutely cost the company hundreds of millions of dollars. And I don't think anybody has the appetite to take NFL on again. So no, I think if EA lets the exclusive lapse, nobody's going to take it up. If EA doesn't let it lapse, then we don't have to worry about it. And I think EA is comfortable continuing to pay something to make sure that no one messes with them. So again, it reminds me of a gangster movie. You know, if somebody steals from the mob just executes them to send a message to everybody else. That's kind of what EA did. Don't mess with us, or we'll sign an exclusive and we'll make you hurt really badly. From @TripperLive, hey fellow baby, what do you think of the upcoming Ouya console? I really like indie games, so I am all for it. You know, I think Ouya is addressing an opportunity. I think that they're launching right about now, and it's coming out next year, kind of in the face of the next-gen consoles. I think the Ouya guys are counting on $99 price point being small enough that people will just take the plunge. We've already seen the Wii U price at $349. We don't know what the PS4 and the Xbox 720 are going to be priced at, but probably $400 or more. And so, you know, if you can get a console for 99 bucks and play a lot of games versus a console at, you know, 400 bucks that has very few games, I think Ouya has a chance. I don't think the Ouya founders really expect to sell more than 1 million or so, but they'll make money at 1 million. And at 1 million installed base, they'll attract a lot of software support. Pretty much any game that plays on Android is going to work on Ouya, so you're going to get a lot of mobile games available. I think, as you know, I've said in previous versions of Pach-Attack, I think you're going to see processors get faster and faster and faster on mobile. So I think the quality of Android games is going to go up. You're going to be able to get a lot of Xbox Live Arcade type experiences. I don't think it's going to take very much for Ouya to get a ton of software support if they can sell 1 million consoles. So chicken and egg. If they get 1 million consoles, they get software support. Obviously, if there's a lot of games, they're going to sell a lot more consoles. I hope they do well as well. I think it's kind of a novel, interesting thing for someone to give a shot to. And it's probably not a bad second console to have in the house anyway if you want to put it into a separate, separate room. So I hope they thrive. They're nice folks, and I wish them well. All right, fellow babies, that's it for this week's edition of Pach-Attack. If you have questions, please direct them to the link below. And if you'd like to ask me a question on Twitter, please send them to @MichaelPachter on Twitter and copy @RohanLikesPants, because Rohan likes pants.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.